So I wanted to do another video, you could say a part 2 of why I switched back to Ram. Some of the bigger issues of why I switched back to Ram, not only is the Ram interior far superior to Ford and GM, but the one thing I didn't like about the Ford is, one, the Ford is a very large truck. And what I mean by that is, one, it's longer, it's a little bit wider as well, but I'm a small person. I'm a small dude, okay? In the Ford, in order for me to see over the dash, windshield wipers, and the hood, I have to keep the seat all the way up and all the way forward. But if I did that, I am basically right on top of the steering wheel and right on top of the dash. So to be comfortable, what I did is I had to put the seat all the way up. I positioned the pedals all the way forward, as in all the way closest to me. The Ford has a telescoping steering wheel, so I was able to telescope that all the way to me. So I was able to push myself away from the dash. So basically, instead of being on top of the dash, I'm able to be further away. Well, the Ford's windshield wipers, they're kind of elevated, right? They're not like in a position where, it's just for short people, it just makes visibility difficult. So on the Fords, my visibility was still good, but I mean, the windshield wipers was kind of in my way, even though I had the seat all the way up. On the Rams, however, I could keep the seat all the way down. I didn't have to pull the seat all the way up. The way I have my seat position is all the way down. And the reason why I like my seat all the way down is because when they're up, over time, the motors in the seats begin to wear out. And eventually, the motors inside, the seat will begin to sink again. And I've experienced this in the past too with other trucks. But anyways, the way I sit right now in my truck, the way the camera is positioned, this is how I see over the hood. The seat's all the way down, and I can see over the hood just fine. In the Ford, it was more kind of like that. Like the windshield wipers were kind of in my way. When I had the seat all the way up, I could kind of see a little bit like that. So I could see a little bit of the hood, but the windshield wipers are in my way. And that was really irritating. No matter what I did, I just couldn't see over the windshield wipers. And that's a short man problem, small people problem. It sucks, and I just didn't like having the seat all the way up. I hated that. But with the Ram, so the way the camera is set right now, this is eye level. This is what I see. This is exactly what I see outside my windshield. Oh, that's my dash cam. The dash cam, I do have it's a front and a rear dash cam. There's one on the back window here. Let me show you right there. Anyways, but this is my field of vision as I drive. I can see over the hood just fine. I can see over the windshield. The windshield wipers are not obstructing my view, so it's great. That's another huge reason why I went back to Ram, is simply because I can see over the hood with the seat positioned all the way down, and that's really important to me. To some, it may not matter, but it's important to me. So, anyways, that's one of the biggest reasons why I went back to Ram. So you see here, like the seat positioning, it's kind of forward, but it's all the way down. It's positioned all the way down. On the Ford, this seat was like up, and I just trying to get into the truck. I had to get on the steps, right? The steps, and then hop into the truck. Whereas with the Ram positioning, I mean, it's easy. I just get in the truck, Anyways, so I just thought I'd share that's another huge reason why I went back to Ram. Is simply because I can see over the hood and over the windshield wipers easily. My field of vision is a lot better in the Ram. Ford has some other issues that I didn't like. Fords tend to lean to the driver's side, so you saw that video where I had to get the spacers. Little things like that just really irritated me about the Ford. I couldn't see over the hood. The Ford leaned to the driver's side. The seats, even though I have them all the way up, I felt like I was sinking into them, and I'd constantly be, as I was driving, constantly adjusting the way I sat. Just really irritating. So, oh, and another thing, the Ram trucks, these Ram heavy duties, they're the crew cab, you know, 6.4 inch bed, not the 5.7 bed like the half tons, but you know, it's got a 6.5 foot bed. I can fit this truck in my garage. I couldn't do that with the Ford. The Ford sat like 17 inches past the garage door. Couldn't shut it. This Ram, I can put it in my garage, close the door. It's great. Like, I love that. I love being able to do that. So that's another huge selling point for me, is when it's stormy, it's rainy, you know, hurricane season, I can put my truck in a safe area. So anyways, I had another shot of the interior. You know, I did that video of the interior. You know, these limiteds are real nice, you know, attention to detail. You know, particularly I love this. You know, I keep mentioning, oh, here's where I was talking about the cell phone holders. You put your cell phones here. He has this ability, this little gap here where the power cords can go, and so that won't obstruct the phone and its positioning. You know, real wood, real leather, everywhere. I love it, love it. Oh, here's something that's really cool. It's back seats. Look at that. I just love this. I know I've done a video on this before, but I just love this. It's metal too. It's not plastic. Love it. So anyways, that's kind of why I went back to Ram Part 2.